Welcome to All Gems No Crumbs, where the vibes are high and the tips hit every time. I'm your host, Ikenisha J, entrepreneur, millennial mama, wife, and your go-to for real talk on building your brand, protecting your peace, and living your softest life yet. Each week, I'm dropping gems to help you level up in business, mindset, self-care, and everything in between without the fluff, pressure, or burnout. No crumbs, just gems. Let's get into it.
All right, Julie. So we're just gonna get right into it, okay? If every dollar you make still requires you to show up live, post in real time, do a launch sprint that leaves you gasping for air, all of those things, that's not a business, okay? That's a job. I said what I said. The hustle culture has taught us that working 24/7 was the only way to build an empire. But as I have found out, hustling is never still. We have talked about this in several episodes, okay? You're always moving, 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 but you're not actually building. You're just doing, doing, doing. And for me, that did not equate to the freedom of choice and time that I really wanted as my own boss. So we're going to be talking about evergreen systems. What exactly is an evergreen system? Glad you asked me, girl. Okay, so I want you to think of it like a plant that stays green all year round. It's not a seasonal launch, it's not a new collection of products, new clothes, any of that you have to tend to every single time a new season comes around. An evergreen system is something that you set up once, like an email funnel or scheduled content series, and it keeps running in the background, consistently bringing in new leads and sales without you having to be actively involved every single day. So, today we're going to be breaking down how to set up these systems that keep working even when you're offline, okay? So, I have been in the game for a minute. Y'all already know. I've been using automations since almost the beginning when I had my online boutique, Jinx Fashionique, starting in 2017. I am like 99% positive that I already had my welcome sequence set up. It wasn't great when I first started. I want to say it was like maybe a month after launching or opening rather that I had that sequence. But anywho, I've said this before. I know I've said it like on my Instagram a long, long time ago. I don't know if I've mentioned it recently, but my biggest evergreen win was an email sequence that I had back then called Hey Stranger. And it went out to customers who, geez, I just lost all train of thought. What was I just talking about? Oh, my my sequence, I named it Hey Stranger, and sometimes it would be called Hey Big Head. You know, like when you slide into the DMs of the ex-boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend comes back into your DMs, they always say Hey Big Head. So the premise was basically, hey, I haven't seen you around in a minute. You know, it was real playful, always showing off new arrivals at the end of it automatically, and it would get sent out to those people who had not bought in the last 30 to 45 days. Super simple. And that one email, it generated thousands of dollars over the time that I've had it. I want to say I started it within the first 3 or 4 months. It was somewhere around that area because I still remember being in my apartment back then after the house burned down. So it had to be within like 3 months or so of starting the business. And the kicker with this is I only edited that email one time in the 7 years that I was open. Yes, one time in 7 years. That, my friends, is called working smarter, not harder. I have told y'all that. Now, in my current business, I automate, normal stuff. My welcome sequences, um, Facebook group posts, things like that. And when I tell y'all that sales and new group members can come in while I'm on vacation, while I'm asleep, or while I'm sitting on the couch with my kids, like, it's crazy. It's the best feeling when my phone is vibrating and I look down and see it's a sale notification. Like, literally, right before I recorded this episode, I was in my son's room doing something with him, getting him ready for bed. Phone vibrated. Guess what it was? New member to my AI Avatar Lab. Boom, new sale. But this isn't about some overnight magic success. I don't want y'all to think that. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. Like it took a lot of work and a lot of tweaking for me to get my email sequences, automations, funnels, all that stuff correct. But this has to be very intentional. It is intentional system building. It's about taking an hour or so each day while my kids are at school or they're at a practice to get things flowing so the business keeps moving or keeps running on its own. All right, so I want to let y'all know why I have noticed that most entrepreneurs fail at evergreen systems. And I've seen some things throughout my years of helping other entrepreneurs. And there are a few reasons. So the first one is they don't, and I'm going to say this too. This isn't like just for people who do digital products or tangible products. I've helped people who have done both. You know what I'm saying? So don't think it's just for one or the other. Every business needs automations, it needs systems, it needs funnels. Okay? And that is the very first mistake that I noticed a lot of people were making. They did not even have funnels or automations, period. And they're still doing everything live. It's like, you cannot do that. You can't. You gotta have some sort of funnel to get people to where you want them to be. The next thing that I noticed is that they didn't test their funnels or emails. So let's say they had the funnels, they had emails, but they didn't test them. They didn't study the data. They didn't see what was working and what wasn't working. They just were like, okay, this is not working. I'm not going to do it no more. Can't do that. You can't just have one setup and think that it's good enough. You can't just set it and forget it and then wonder why it's not working. You have to test it. You have to see what subject lines work better. Do you need a preview line or do you not? What is getting you the most clicks? The other thing that I noticed a lot of the times with people that I helped was their email strategy was basically non-existent. Like they're just sending out random email blasts instead of nurturing their audience. And I'm going to tell you, not everyone is in the same place in your funnel. And whether you have a quote unquote funnel set up or not, you have one. You just may not have it set up correctly. And this is where segmenting comes in. And I talk about this a lot throughout different email masterclasses that I've had. I am actually creating a new one because I've had people ask me about my old ones and they are gone. So yes, segmenting is where the money is. And it's because you're talking to people where they're at and not where you think they are. Again, you are using data. You got to look at the data, y'all. You're using data to segment people into groups. And you send them you send them email messages based off of the group that you put them in. The last thing that I noticed was that people it was just people that I used to help. They used to overcomplicate it. Like they tried to automate everything at once instead of just starting with one best-selling product. And I used to be in that constant launch cycle. Let me tell you that too, with digital products. But I realized that it was truly unnecessary. So what I did recently, I downsized my product offerings. I figured out exactly what my audience really needed, and I started concentrating on building systems around those things. Kind of similar to what I did with my boutique. When you all have heard the story about how I stopped just doing like new items all the time, new products. I did new collections, and then after those collections, I will start another one. So I wasn't just coming out with just 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 items whenever. It was just one collection one time, and I concentrated on those items, and that was it. And I did the same thing with my digital product business. So let's break down the basics of how to do this. Step 1. I want you to pick your best selling product. Again, you could be selling candles, you could be selling digital products, you could be selling masterclasses, you could be selling clothes, you could be selling shoes. I don't care what you're doing. Pick your best selling product. Don't try to test this on something that you're still trying to prove, okay? I want you to use a product that you know your audience already loves. And for me, we're going to use the example of my 7-day launch 7-day launch blueprint. I said it weird. All right, so after you pick your product, you're going to build a simple funnel. So like for this particular one that I use, because we're talking about digital products because I'm not in tangible products anymore, this could be like that particular offer I just had, and they get put into a nurture sequence and then an offer. So for the 7-day launch blueprint, for example, I put people into a sequence of 8 emails. So if you go to my website and you purchase this product, you are automatically put into a sequence of 8 emails. Now, the open rate is an average of 51% of all those emails. That is really good. That means over half of the people that receive these emails, and I have about, last time I looked, it was like 300 something people that were in that funnel. Over half of them are opening up the emails. And then I want to say 3 of those 8 emails have a click rate of 11% or higher. I'm going to still tweak the messaging in those emails because I want the click rate to be higher. So if you don't know, open rate is the amount of people or the percentage of people that are opening your emails. The click rate is how many of those people that opened, how many of them click. This tells you 2 things. Open rate lets you know if your subject line is strong and igniting curiosity. The click rate lets you know if people are interested in what you're selling. This is based upon the messaging in the email itself. So that's how you know what's working. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to create automations that guide people step by step. So I use this blueprint, for example, to upsell my higher ticket offers, like my AI Avatar Lab. Granted, it's not high ticket right now, but it's going to be soon because I'm going to be increasing that price. I'm getting members every day. So I said that once I got a certain amount of members, I was going to increase the price. I will be doing that, but I'm not sure when I'm going to do that. I try to change my mind. So we're going to see. And then the other one that I upsell is the quiet cash code. That is for people who want to get into faceless marketing, digital marketing, things like that. However, if you are in my AI Avatar Lab, you will be getting the quiet cash code in the lab once I increase the price. So once I increase the price, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to increase it to 77 or 97 or 147. It just depends. So what may end up happening is the more I add to it, I'll probably increase it to the 97. And then when I get to the other things I want to add to it, I will probably put it at 127 and leave it there. We're going to see. I'm playing around with it. So if you're not in the lab now, I suggest you get in it because, again, I am building it out. It's taking me some time. Please be patient with me if you are already in the lab. But it's taking me time to get the things in that I really want to get in because y'all already know I am a perfectionist. But anywho, the automations that I have in that particular email sequence, they work for me. Those clicks, those open rates, everything. And also, don't sleep on social media. Like when it comes to automations, I lean on automations for more than just my email. Like I said earlier, my Facebook group and my Pinterest, I schedule posts for those like a week or 2 in advance. And this frees me up to not have to constantly be creating new content and worrying about posting in real time. Okay. Stop trying to post in real time. You're burning yourself out. Okay. I have been scheduling posts for a very, very long time. You really don't even need third-party scheduling apps anymore because now it's gotten so where almost all the platforms let you schedule from there. You can schedule your posts on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, everything. You can schedule right there now. So there's no excuse anymore, y'all. What was I saying? Oh yeah, about the percent. Okay, so anywho, I also want to let y'all know because people think that evergreen just means set it and forget it, which technically it is, but for me, it is set it, test it, refine it, and then let it run. Okay? You can't just set it and forget it. You gotta see what's working because majority of the time, your first funnel, your first automation, your first message, your first email, your first newsletter, whatever, it's not gonna be good. It's not. And I'm great at what I do. But my first few things were not good. No harm in saying that. And as a natural perfectionist, I had to learn this myself. Like, you don't have to be perfect when you first start, okay? You have to launch and wait. You have to watch and learn. You got to do it scared, okay? I have a strict schedule, by the way. I don't work on weekends. Y'all already know that. I've gotten so where I'm starting to not work on Sundays either, except, I'll do my analytics. Like, I'll analyze my numbers. I'll do a little bit of planning. And then if you listen to my last episode, you already know every Sunday I do my business meeting with God. So that's non-negotiable. But yeah, that's just about it. But Saturdays, I don't work at all. And I've changed my 7-day launch blueprint automation twice already after seeing the data. And that product has been launched, I want to say, for 2 months now. and I've sold, I think, 300 some copies. And it's because, I'm good with change and I pay attention to the analytics. So I'm going to keep hammering this in y'all every episode. You have to analyze your numbers. Your numbers tell a story about your business. It tells you where you've been and where you are going. You got to do it. You got to have the discipline. You got to have the patience. And right now, you got to have all of that in automation, because like your automations may need tweaking before it consistently converts. And there's no way you're going to know that if you're not testing and analyzing. All right. So what I want you all to do, homework time, as you all know, this is going to be my mid-season break episode. So I will not be back until the end of September. So you're going to have work to do while I'm gone. I am challenging you to pick your one best-selling product, map it out, one automation for it. It could be a welcome sequence for your email list. It could be an abandoned cart sequence. Don't worry about the perfection of it. Just worry about getting it live so you have the data to improve. So go into your ChatGPT, go into your Gemini, go into your Perplexity. I don't care what app you use. Go into it, talk about your product, and tell it what you want to do, what you want to create, and get it to suggest a sequence for you. But before you do that, just tell it, I want you to do this. I think this will be better. Go into your chat or whatever you're going to use. Tell it your best-selling product, and you want to create a funnel or automation if you're doing a welcome sequence, something like that. Instead, tell it to ask you questions so that it can help you generate the best new funnel for you to test. And it will ask you clarifying questions, things that it needs to know, and then you answer those. Then it will spit out a better answer for you. I've noticed that when I tell ChatGPT or Gemini to ask me questions first, it normally gives me a better response afterwards. Okay? So again, don't worry about the perfection. Just worry about getting it live so you have the data to improve. You're doing this strictly for data. Now, if you want to see how my funnels work, go buy something. Go check out the 7-day launch blueprint. This is for those who want to check out faceless marketing or who want to get into using their AI avatar instead of doing faceless. I would suggest starting off with my 7-day launch blueprint, okay? And then you'll get put into that funnel and you'll be able to see how my messages are worded, the subject lines, all of that, okay? That's really all I have for y'all. I didn't want this episode to be long, like, at all. Because, again, this is my mid-season break. But I really want you all to get in on this. Because in order for you to create the passive income that people are constantly talking about and the freedom that people are constantly talking about, you have to have systems. You have to have automations. You have to have funnels. Because if not, you're constantly working. And passive income does not require you to work. And I did not create a business to have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I created this business to have freedom. Y'all already know I say it all the time. Freedom and peace. Those are my things. Okay? Freedom and peace. So, rewind that back. I'm going to say it again. Evergreen systems, it means freedom. They mean consistent income without you being glued to your phone or your keyboard. Like, you want to be present for your kids. You want to be present for your family. You want to be present in life. You want to be present with your friends when you go out. Okay? Like, again, evergreen systems, it means freedom. Consistent income. And they are the difference between working for your business and your business working for you. All right? So I want you all to reach out to me on Instagram, join my Facebook group, my AI Avatar Lab Lounge on Facebook. The link will be in the show notes, description box, wherever you're watching this from. It'll be in there. Come in, ask me questions, post things. I do not mind, okay? If you DM me on Instagram, I may not answer right away because I don't really get on Instagram like that anymore, but I'm going to be changing that soon. I'm going to start getting back up there slowly but surely. I say this all the time, but Instagram just gets on my nerves, y'all. It just does. Yeah, so whatever. email me. They're probably better. Email me, ikenishaj@gmail.com. Okay, email me. All right, y'all. So you can catch me next week. No, you cannot, Ashley. Can't catch me next week. You're going to catch me in September. Okay? For another gem of advice because you know I'm not going to leave no crumbs.